Hi everyone, this is Julie Bean with Beadaholique, and we're going to be making a little summertime anklet out of chain today. So I picked out this really pretty crinkle chain. You can pick out whatever chain you like. There's so many different chains out there that you can buy that are cut to order. So basically you buy them by the inch or by the foot. For this one you are going to buy it by the foot. And you pick your favorite chain and you're going to be able to make an anklet out of it. Or you could make a bracelet. So you could definitely use all the information you learned in this video to make a handmade chain bracelet or an anklet. But because it's summertime right now, I thought an anklet would be really fun. So we're going to use chain. Then we're going to use a pretty little lobster clasp and a couple jump rings. So another jump ring is going to be the other side of that lobster clasp. And then I'm going to put one or two charms on it. I haven't decided yet. I have this really pretty bird charm by Gardan Beads, and then I have this great little nun design charm as well. And I thought they were both really summery and fun. And then I want to accent it with some little dangles, because I like it when you have the anklets that have little dangles on them that kind of are right on your ankle and they kind of move a little bit. So it's really something that is kind of fun in summertime and meant to be worn a lot. So those are our basic supplies. For your tools, you'll need a pair of cutters to cut your chain. You'll need, oh, actually I have two cutters on my table. Okay, so I'm gonna need a round nose or wire looping plier, a pair of cutters, and then two chain nose pliers as well. So those are gonna be your basic tools, and then a ruler to measure your chain length. So those are all the supplies you need to get started to make your summertime anklet. So just like a bracelet, everyone's ankle size does vary a little bit. The average is 9 inches though. So you're gonna want 9 inches total, including the clasp, which if you look at the clasp here, it's about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to, and then the jump ring is gonna add a little bit more. So I'm gonna measure about 8 1/4 inches, maybe a little bit more than that. So I'm just lining it up on my ruler. And this is a chain I'd used before for another project. So this is not quite the foot that I originally ordered, which is fine, because you always save all your chain bits, even this little bit of chain, save it for another project. Okay, so let's construct the actual anklet first, and then we're gonna add all the embellishments to it. So if you look at this particular chain, you'll notice that the ends are different because of the nature of the chain. So this one has a bigger loop in it, and this one has a smaller little hole in it. And so that's important because when you're picking out your accessories for this and your other supplies and components, you wanna make sure that they're gonna go through, like your jump ring is gonna go through the smallest of the holes. So I have a little small jump ring right here. I have a 4mm jump ring, and it's thin, it's 22 gauge. So I'm gonna be using that to connect my clasp and my other larger jump ring too. So this is pretty easy to do. You're just going to find the opening in this jump ring. It is an open jump ring. And you're going to, oops, it was on the bottom. Okay, it's still open for me, but there's that opening. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna twist it so it's nice and open. Then we're gonna link it on to one of the chain links. Just like so. And before we close it up, we're gonna put our bigger jump ring on here. And that is the other half of our clasp. And then you're just gonna close it up. Nice and neat. And then we're gonna go do the other side with the lobster clasp. So again, we're gonna be using a little 4mm jump ring. Let's see if I can find the opening this time. Okay, there we go. We have the opening. So we're gonna go the other side of our chain, and this is easier to put on because that loop is a little bit bigger. And then we're just gonna put on our lobster, close up our jump ring, and then we've actually just made our finished anklet. So you could end it here. You don't have to add embellishments. This would be very elegant and simple. So let's make sure that this works. Okay, so there's our clasp component to it. So you could have that very dainty and petite. I want to add some embellishments to it, so I'm going to do the embellishments now. So what I thought would be really pretty are little sparkly Czech crystal bead dangles. And so I'm going to use this one little 4mm Czech bead, and I am going to put it onto a eye pin here. Not eye pin, a head pin, excuse me, a head pin. And I'm going to start to make my loop. I want to do wrapped wire loops because they're more secure than simple wire loops. So I'm going to go ahead, bend it over with my pliers and put it up, crisscross, kind of smooth it out. And so we have a loop, but to do our wrappings, we need this attached first. So I'm going to just open up that loop a little bit. See, now there's a little gap, and I am going to slip on one of my chain links. So I just slipped on one of my chain links, kind of random on here. And then I'm going to go ahead and do some wrappings. And after I'm happy with my wrappings, I'm going to trim my tail and tuck my end. It's always important to tuck your ends because especially if you're going to wear it along your ankle, you don't want a scratchy little pokey piece of wire scratching at you as you're walking. Okay, so there we go. So right now we have this pretty little dangle on here, but I want to add more. So the first one I put on was kind of random. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to line these up and I'm going to put them every so often. If you want, you can count. You can count chain links for sure. I don't think I want to. I think I'm happy. This is just kind of a casual little design here. I'm just going to put them on every so often, maybe like every inch, every 3/4 of an inch. You could also make dangles, dangle clusters where you're putting like 3 together, or you can even put 3 on a jump ring and then hang that jump ring from here as well. So there's lots of different options. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this one more time on camera, and then I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of them just because they are kind of time consuming and it'll be a pretty long video if I showed you each and every one. But I want to show you the technique one more time. So you go ahead, you put that on your head pin, rotate up, make your little loop. And then we're going to open up our loop. And I'm going to slip this one on over here now. And close your loop. And you see I'm holding it with my chain nose pliers. That's what's giving me my grip and my ability to do my wrappings. And then I'm going to trim it and tuck it. And by tucking it, I'm basically just pinching it. I'm just pinching that wire so that I'm pushing it into its wrappings and into itself so it doesn't stick out. Okay, so now we've got 2 little baubles on here that are pretty. Okay, I'm gonna do that off camera, then I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like and then we'll attach our charms. All right, all my little dangles are attached, and I actually found it easier to open up the chain, the anklet, as I was adding my dangles and my little baubles here, just because it made it a little bit easier to see the spacing. But I just have them staggered every little bit. And now I'm going to add the charms. So I definitely want the birdie, that's a for sure. So I'm going to see, I think I can still attach him with the little 4mm jump ring. I also have the bigger size available that I did use for the other half of my clasp. And for this particular design, I had open ones for the big ones too, because I wasn't sure if I wanted them for the charm attachment, and it would save me having to buy open and closed jump rings. A closed jump ring just doesn't have a little opening that you can open, so kind of like the name suggests. But I'm just going to put a little charm on this guy, and he's going to live anywhere I want on here. So maybe he's going to live right here. Just a little birdie. And close it on up. Yeah, I like that. I think he's just gonna be our little flying bird in the middle of our anklet. And then when you have this closed, and I think I'm gonna leave this charm off. And the reason I'm gonna leave it off is, well, he would be kind of cute. Actually, you know what? Nope, I'm not leaving it off. I changed my mind. He has to be here because I love him too. Okay. See, when we're designing as we go, you never know what's gonna happen. Okay, so we're gonna add this guy too. And I think I'm gonna put them right here too. I think I'm just gonna put them one chain link over, just so that they're not too crowded, but I would like them to kind of sit and dangle together as this is worn. Kind of like a fun little focal for your ankle. There we go. And actually, I don't know if you can hear that. It kind of makes like a little chime, like a little tingling sound, which I enjoy. Okay, I've got my little focals on here. Let's clear the supplies away. And then I've got this clasp, which is super easy to use and get on and off. So if you do want to take this off when you shower or anything like that, you can. But there we go. We've got our little summertime anklet made out of chain. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial video. We have many, many more over at beadaholique.com.